Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. I know this is doing things a little different than I had before. I generally post like one video to my Instagram, and that's like it. Usually like, a brief caption or whatever, but um I feel like that's just not giving you like the whole story or the whole glimpse of what's going on here, and I feel like high jump can be more exciting, honestly. There's a whole lot of detail that goes into, well, doing the event. Talk to any coach, talk to any athlete, and it is a lot of time and effort into an event that takes you approximately 4 seconds to run at the bar and less than 1 second to go over the bar. So it's like those 100-meter dash people that, or 60, right? They run for like 7 seconds or 10 seconds. They travel the whole world to then just run for 10 seconds. I mean, the high jump is such a similar fashion of like, you work so hard to hopefully have 5 seconds go your way. That's it. Anyway, last season I was a little injured and it was kind of tough to like gather some steam. And I'd say this year I'm a whole lot more healthy, but I'm still trying to like recover some of those pieces that I lost last year. And hopefully you'll see what I mean when we get into these videos. But last year I had an immense amount of hip pain on my jump leg, and it was up into the insertion area of my hip. I even got that dry needled, and I kid you not, that was needed but very painful, and I would not recommend that to anyone. And I'm I'm trying to figure out ways to get that to go away, and so far I've been successful, and I feel like it is the least that it's been for about a year, year and a half, which is amazing. But generally, injuries like that are hiding something. And I'm not sure how exactly it's hiding all this stuff going on in other places, but it was. So I'm, you know, fix one thing and you have something else to fix. And so I'm trying to be as diligent as possibly can because being a professional high jumper, you have to be diligent, basically. So getting back on the topic, I had a meet earlier today. Actually, I got home from it and ate dinner, and now I'm making this. Um, it was at Eastern Illinois University, and thank goodness they let me in because I've been having an issue actually with getting into World Athletic meets, and it shouldn't be an issue. It really shouldn't. USATF should take better care of their athletes, but I'm having such a hard time with it. Last weekend I tried to get into a meet and the meet director never spoke to me. He never replied to my email where you had to email to ask to be in the meet, so I did that and I heard nothing back. And then this past week I tried to get into another World Athletics ranked meet and they're only F. They're only F. There's no prize money. Anyway, he wouldn't get me a straight answer. He told me I had to wait until the heat sheets came out, and then I did not see my name on that list. So I had to find another meet as soon as possible. So, like I said, thank goodness Eastern Illinois University let me in. I am very happy and grateful for that. But also nice, what is also nice is that I really enjoy jumping at this facility. Um, And even when I'm there, a lot of the other coaches tell me their stories about high jumpers that have jumped really high at this facility. So, I mean, I've jumped there before as well. So, I personally do like this facility. But it's also nice to hear that so many other high jumpers before me have also enjoyed this facility. So, uh, last year, right, kind of injured. This year, kind of getting out of it. And I'm finding that there are things that aren't as ideal as they once were, which is fine. You always have to figure things out. You're an athlete, so adversity and change and whatnot. All right, all right. So, getting into the meat. Yeah, okay, rearrange. So now you can start seeing some videos. The first few videos, if I'm wearing a t-shirt, that is warm up time frame. That is before the meet has actually started. When I'm actually in my jersey, which is like a tank top, that's whenever it's like, oh, okay, now we're talking the meat stuff. All right, so in this, let me head back. We'll watch it at normal speed and then I'll show you what to be looking for. So this is just a little pop into the pit and kind of like a fall over. So the things to look for is that in the back, I started at 53 feet and that mark, yeah, good. I think you can see my cursor. This mark right here is the mark that I put out as my, I believe this is where that foot should start. So as you can see, I'm a couple feet back behind that. So that might indicate that I'm losing some distance in the back couple of steps, about 2 feet in the back. So actually throughout warm-ups, you'll notice that I get a little closer to that because I have scooted forward. So first jump, second jump, third jump, somewhere in there, I've scooted a foot and a half forward to start the event. So then next up is that we get through this curve, which is like, it's got a decent lean. I'm not really jumping, but you can see that like if I'm supposed to be 2 feet out from where the bar is at, that seems a little farther than 2 feet. So not only am I out relative to that mark, uh, without it, then I'm also out relative to that mark. And you can kind of see this long bounding stride there. It's a little too much. It's a little outside of my curve path just to try to get me where I need to be. But then after that, like, there is a little bit of bounce. I was kind of hopeful for the day. That's 28. Let's go to 29. All right, so again, full speed. So that honestly looked a little slow now that we're looking at it back, but we get up here to this mark, and I was pretty sure I scooted about a foot forward, but that's still a significant distance between that. Get through here. It doesn't exactly look even. Like, my lean is not exactly consistent. Like, you push off this leg, that lean, it's like it's gone a little, and then there's a big hoppy stride. And then you put the foot down, and again, we're looking for 2 feet. That's a little more than 2 feet. But I still like how strong my takeoff leg looks. I like that I have got a bit of a lean back. My shoulders are not exactly the where I want them to be. My arms are down, which is cool. But again, this is not like a real jump. So as I'm going over the bar, like, my arms kind of tuck. I'm just like, let's just pop over. Yeah, that was fun. All right, so let's see this one. All right, that had a bit of pop, but again, we're about a foot and a half in front now. Where is that foot? All right, so again, I'm still a little far off this mark out of the back, but all I did was I scooted forward. It's not like I'm pushing out with more distance, so still have to figure out what's going on there. And then through the curve, I did think this was a little smoother on the curve work, but that foot is still out. I mean, the body position is still, I think, decent. My shoulder, I think, is much better aligned because, like, it's leaning in and back rather than just one of the two of them. But again, it's not like a real jump, so it's like I got the knee drive and kind of hip pop over it, and it's like there's a decent amount of space. I think this bungee on the sides is close to like 5 foot, so like in the middle, it's probably closer to like 4.7 if I had to take a guess. All right, so again, moving along. I don't want to take too much time just talking about warm-ups, but again, like I'm trying to use this time to get that spot aligned. So I'm still pretty far behind it. I was pretty sure I'm still moving forward. But even then, it's like it's choppy. See that curve? It's not even. It doesn't look even. It doesn't, not like when I was running it, it didn't seem like it was not very even, but that does not look very even. All right, so lean back. This is an actual, I'm trying to do a little bit more form. You can see that I have decent strength out of that leg. I'm still far away, and it was weird back here, but I think I'm putting my arms up a little too soon. Yeah, like before that leg is, yeah, it's touchdown and the arm is by my face. That's not good. You don't want your arm that high. Okay, we'll see how that shakes out as we go. And then I'm like just barely off the ground. I still have a decent straight line, but it's already in at it. But I think I put the, I have no idea. Random people tried to help me as I was in the back. But again, this is some decent height, right? That was some good pop. But I'm far away and I had to jump at the bar. So then the next thing happens is I didn't get my rotations as much as I liked. And then there goes the hips. I guess that's one frame is down with the hips. All right, so it is frustrating. I agree. Not being able to fill out the rest of the form. Like I have ability there, and then I'm just like, you know what? I want to land flat on my back. That's not even flat. That's like completely lower back. That would be I pulled too hard with the hips to come down. But I've always thought that jumping with a bungee is kind of difficult to figure out where I'm supposed to be. All right, so this is one more pre-meet. Again, I'm trying to align that. Oh, he's standing right in the way. All right, let's see real quick. Yeah, he's right in the way of that foot. So I'm probably still about a foot behind that. Easy. So I thought this was a decent curve. Let's see about the takeoff. Yeah, okay. Lean back. I still have this arm early, and that shoulder is early. Syncing and timing have been kind of difficult this indoor season so far. The shoulder and the arm a little up too high, but I take the load pretty well, and you see a straight line. There we go. Foot, knee, hip, shoulder. That's nice. This arm leading in a little too much. This arm leading into too much, but this area, shoulder to foot, that's pretty good. And I have a decent knee drive. I don't know how long I keep it, but I had a decent knee drive to start. As long as that leg doesn't kick out, we're fine. And you see it, the arms do lead me in a little fast. Because, like, this is position you want to be in, except for you want to be rotated a little more. Yeah, it's like this way a little more. I want to get my shoulders and lower body, like, lower back in a little more around the bar because my legs are underneath the bar. So it's like if I could take this whole picture and just shift it around a little bit, then I can make it look good if I shifted it. So I mean, it's pre-meet, but I'm still doing things a little too early. And because of that, there go my hips. So that could be the explanation for that. And yeah, flat back. I have at least one jump today that looks actually decent in terms of that. But hey, we're in the meet. And slow and slow. Oh my gosh. That could be why I'm missing several feet, but oh, I meant to pause it. Hold on. Oh, it won't let me pause. Okay, that was weird. And that foot, boom, there we go. We're almost on it, but I'm pretty sure I still scooted another half a foot forward to get into the meet. But we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Okay, so then a couple frames later, like the curve isn't that awful, but everything just seems okay. Yeah, doesn't seem that awful, but this is bad. You see, my coach always used to call that foot in the bucket. It's like if you were to, align me a little better, because I am cut right here at the hips, I go straight up and I go straight out to the side. Um, that is definitely not in line. So I'm losing a lot of strength and power in that step alone. But the next step is the jump. So, um, I mean, at least it was quick, right? We go like one frame in between. Basically none. But we've got the leg coming down and through. Clearly, I'm still leaning a decent amount, but that shoulder's early, that arm is early. And you can't even see where the bar is at, which means I'm too far away. I mean, that foot in the bucket is also another sign that I'm too far away. I didn't notice that whenever I was competing. I didn't realize it was that bad. And you see on this one, if I can get it, there we go. I'm off the ground like a foot or so, and I still have a decent line up. Like this, honestly, is a good pop off the ground. I have a great knee drive. It's even like it's leading me away from the pit. The next thing is to like pull that forward to rotate the hips to get the back to the bar. But I think I was so far away that it was like, okay, time to go over the bar, right? Here's all this height. Okay, when am I ever going to get to the other side of the bar? Because I kind of have to come back down. And there's the hips. All right, so I did scoot forward. Not too many videos left. Let's play this out. I think the last one I might have cut out already. Okay, play it out, and then we'll talk. It still looks slow. And yes, this is my second miss at 165. And 165 is like 5.5, 5.6. No, it can't be 5.6. It's 5.5 and a quarter. It's been a minute since I've thought of something like that. I usually start at like 168 to 172, but again, getting off of last year, and then also I had to start on the progression. So he's like, you have to start at 165 or 170 because I was the last person left to start the bar. And so just per the rules, I had to fit on a progression. Toe is on the tape. All right, that is the closest I've been the whole day. So that's good, which means I definitely scooted forward. I know I scooted forward, but like you can see it. I scooted. I finally got another foot off the back. And we go through the lean, and the lean is okay. The foot in the bucket is still kind of real. That's a bad position to be in. Like, cause like this is nice. We look at that leg. That leg is good. That leg is fine. That's not like a foot in the bucket, but this one sure is. And by foot in a bucket, it's like whenever you put your foot in a bucket and you're trying to shake it off and your leg is like going way out to the side, try to kick the bucket off. That I don't know why my coach always said that when I was in college, but he did, and it's in my brain for forever. All right, I have candles on my desk to help keep the cats off, and he's really staring at the desk right now. I think we're gonna be okay. All right, anyway, back to this. Yeah, foot in a bucket. That arm is stupid early. It's even above my forehead, and I literally just got my foot down. All right, well, the load is decent. The back leg is good. The arm over here seems all right too. It's not, oh, I've seen some athletes where it's like they've opened their arm out to the side, and then whenever they pull across their body. You need to have it in the back with that elbow bent like I do. So that way, whenever you pull it, you can pull it right across the body and up. Now, if the lead arm pulls you in, then that far arm is also going to be pulling you in. So let's see. Oh, come on. I wish a seek bar was a little easier to manage. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's leading in a little bit, not awful. Oh, come on. Wait, can I do it this way? Oh, I can, and I can go one. Solved it. Hopefully. All right. So from here, right, we got the knee going great. That drive arm is, or I guess the near arm is just wrapping me right into the bar. But okay, anyway. Again, it's like it's too early for me to have my head and shoulders back there like that because my whole legs are just draped like that. But timing is so off, but my incoming angle is so off, the foot in the bucket, like everything is so out that I'm probably just throwing myself into the bar and then just hoping for the best. Like, yeah, okay, I had not as much height, but I remember feeling that I just went right through the bar. Like I didn't have as much pop on that one. It was like a long jump, kind of high jump. So then, yep, that one's a miss. One more. All right. So this one's a make. Clearly, you saw 3 more videos. So this one, I hope I clear if they're, in line. Oof, did you see that hesitation though? All right, so then again, I am scooting forward in the back. Where's that foot? We get the foot down right there. So it's a little farther than the other one, right? Because I had my toe on the tape on the one before, but now this one is there. I feel like it goes a little more than one frame in between, but we've got a decent lean. Shoulders are great. Hips are great. Like everything is aligned in this one. And then you see how that foot in the bucket has put me. Like that is not a great body position. Maybe it is about one frame. All right, anyway, that's a decent leg. The arm is okay. The near arm is like, again, at my face and my foot has just touched on. So that might be early. The shoulder is reaching like in front of me early, right? I need that shoulder back so that way I can be powerful through it. If my shoulder is early, then that might twist my whole body early. And then do you also see I am more than 2 feet away? I have to be more than 2 feet away. And that straight line up that I was talking about earlier, straight line, yes. At the bar, also yes, and that's a bad thing. The lead arm is in, the far arm is also tilted in, my shoulders are tilted in. I'm not even like a foot off the ground. There's something wrong with that. But when it's time to get over the bar, like I feel like I had more height than this when it actually happened, but all right, well, we got in it. And you know how I was saying it's like I needed to get to where my shoulders and my lower back were like lower than my hips. I did it. I did it right here. My thighs are as flat as a table. That's what I'm looking for. And the upper body is just sort of like falling off that table. And then the knees and the feet. And then if you unhinge at the knees right here, rather than pushing the hips down, those feet go so far away from the bar. See, like I'm in no concern over touching the bar with my feet. None at all. How would I? Feet are here, boom, feet are up there. There's gotta be like more to this seek bar than that, but no, must be a bad frame rate. Next time I do this, I'll let you guys know. But do you see how now I'm landing with my shoulders in the pit rather than my lower back or my hips? None of that's touching. And then, yep, I just roll right over. Depending on how soft the pit is, sometimes you really disappear into it and come back up, and it looks like your whole body has touched the pit. But honestly, in reality, it's just your like upper back and your shoulders. And then you just roll over it. That's like one of the signs that you've had a decent jump is whenever you land correctly. All right, so this one again, you already know is a miss. This is at 170, which is approximately 5'7". And like there are some good things about it. Oh, well, let's find the actual video. There are definitely some good things about it. For one, like, we're about at the toe at the tape. We're almost there. I think I was still scooting forward though. But do you see how like I feel like this it looks more consistent on the lean, but we're probably right about to see that foot in the bucket thing that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, foot in a bucket. And then, okay, decent. Again, with the legs, the far arm, all that's good. The near arm, way too early, but I've been saying that all day. We get the knee drive and we get this absolute beautifully straight line, except for it's leaning at the bar. This foot's more than 2 feet away. Had a giant step back there. Everything needs to still scoot forward. That's what I'm saying is like it's a little frustrating because I don't know why I have to scoot like 5 feet forward compared to last year, or I guess the year before. Anyway, we'll figure that out. We'll get there, but at least we're seeing the cause and effect. And it's like, yeah, even with all of those mistakes and technique errors leading up to this moment, Like, I'm still pretty much over my own head height. And I just barely touch, and then get the feet out of the way, and see, like, I landed again with the shoulders. So it's like once I remembered how to do that, it started doing it again. Oh, right. 37, that video. Uh, I had to wait on a long jumper because he wanted to do the clapping thing, and I'm not about that. Oh, I don't know why I left the chat on there. Clearly, I'm not doing a live stream. I just realized that. All right, anyway, back to this. All right, so second attempt, it's a miss, and we're losing space again. I'm pretty sure I was still scooting forward like an inch or two between each one of these jumps, and I'm missing distance. Goodness. Again, right now I'm at a bit of a loss as to like what's going on there. Like maybe it's just my stamina levels as the meet goes on. Maybe I'm just like losing a little bit of strength or something, but you wouldn't think that I'd be that bad. All right, again, great lean through the whole body. This is actually really picture perfect about how stable my head and shoulders are and how a nice lean I've got going on. And then we put the foot down, we put the last foot down. I mean, it's not as bad, but yeah, we're putting the foot down. This arm's great. That leg is great. This alignment, it has a little extra twisting because again, that shoulder is early. This arm is by my face. Yeah, I don't like that. And then again, you see how my foot is more than 2 feet away. Like, this cannot be 2 feet. This has got to be like 3 feet. This is too many feet. But this straight line, like again, it is straight from the shoulder all the way down to the heel, kind of toe-ish. I mean, the toe is kind of, depending on where the foot's at, it might not be perfectly aligned. But anyway, but it is still angled at the pit. So yeah, and this is just weird. Like even like the back is turning in, but I'm not even back to the bar yet. So it's like, come on, what is that? So it's like I am not exactly perpendicular to the bar at that moment. But again, even all those errors, and I'm like right there, and you see I'm back to landing lower back. And a little pop through. Okay, last video of mine. And of course, it was a miss. That's what I'm saying about it being so frustrating. Is like I should be clearing bars a lot higher than 165. It's the early part of the season, and I'm getting over a bit of an injury, so you just have to build back. All right, so again, toe on the tape. Okay, good. Getting in a little closer, but I'm pretty sure I scooted forward for this one. I think it was somewhere around a quarter of a shoe. And it still feels like I'm like trying to run bigger than my stride length or something. Something weird is going on. Like, I'm just like noticing too. It's like I'm talking about how stable my head and shoulders are. And it's like, if you're watching just my head and shoulders through this part, and it's like, well, everything there is in like really good focus. It's a good thing to be stable, but it's also not a good thing to put your foot in a bucket, like normal strides, and then gaping long stride out to the side. Bad news. All right. So then I still load up this takeoff leg a decent amount. Oh, come on, search bar or seek bar, whatever it's called. Get this down. And this arm is even higher than my forehead. I mean, I guess the frame rate is bad. So it's like, this is a little later. So I think that like when I'm putting my foot down, it's still in the face area. But this arm's good. That leg is good. Clearly, I still have some strength left because even when my leg is out of focus, you still get some muscle definition. And then we go up right at the bar. You see how bad of an angle that is? like even with my toe on the ground, there we go. Even my toe on the ground, right up at right up at it. How much worse can you be? Come on. All right. So then after that, as we watched the jump, like I hit it early, and if you hit it that early, more than anything, you're just like, don't don't land on it. So I just sort of ragdoll at that moment to just try to stay safe. All right, so some takeaways. Yes, I was too far away. I have to figure out why that is. I'm going to keep trying to mitigate some of my injuries as I move forward in the next couple weeks. Of course, keeping track of my training and pushing myself to do all of my training. Being a professional athlete where you are in charge of yourself means that you're in charge of yourself. So I pretty much always do all of my training. I just need to stay focused on it. Um, let's see. So outside of those things, over the winter break when I didn't have any running abilities, because basically every facility is closed, I tried my best to lift, and it's been a minute since I've squatted actually. And so I worked very hard on getting those numbers up as high as I possibly could over those like couple weeks. And that used to be a basis of my training. But I know with things like Olympic lifts, you don't want to just go from not doing them to doing them at 1,000%. So since I wasn't running and I wasn't jumping because I had no facilities, I was squatting twice a week. Yeah, I mean, it's part of my training. So I was training most days of the week, but in particular, squats. And I got my squats back up to 215 for a set of 6. I was doing 4 sets of 6 twice a week. And so I got them back up to 215, which is great. But then the first day that I got back to running and squatted, it was like that 215 was absolutely nowhere in sight. I tried to do, I think it was either 185 or 195 on my first set on the same day as running, and it was tough. So I actually brought it down to like 165, which is like I should never be squatting lower than like 185, but I had to take it down in order to like adjust to the extra load on my training. But yeah, well, I ran four, no, I ran 6 by 100 with the Indiana State University team. They ran 8 by 100 and they were fast, but I guess they have been running and they talk so heavily about their fall training on how after all that, running hundreds is like no big deal. And to me, I'm a true high jumper in the sense of running is not exactly my forte. So I'm like dying, and they're like, "Hey guys, ready to go lift afterwards?" I'm like, you're gonna do what?" I try my hardest to lift. I don't lift with them, but I still tried hardest to lift. I had no idea that they had more things planned after that. All right. So in order to well, not in order to end the stream, but before I end the stream, I did want to visit one more jumper, and I don't know her name, but she contacted me on Instagram, and I get this a lot where it's like, "Hey, could you take a look at my video and tell me what you think?" And so she had a question about, oh, it was like, how many steps do you think that I'm too close, too far away? Like, do you just basically what do I think about her jumps? And again, I don't know her name, so it's not like I don't want to embarrass her for us if I say anything that's mean, I guess. Uh, I very much like it whenever people send me these videos. I just have a hard time getting back to people in a timely manner because generally I have a lot to say when I see these videos. I love the high jumps. So it's like me talking. I mean, I've been talking about my own meat for like the last 30 minutes. Yeah. So I love it whenever people do this. It's just You need to give me a moment to reply. And in this, this is my first time trying to do this format of feedback, which is kind of, you know, watching it with you. I did have to preview it just to make sure that the video would come up here. But yeah, watching it through with you, talking about what I see, going, forward and back a little bit, watching it full speed, watching it slow motion, looking at certain angles. This is, by the way, this is not the normal angle that I watch the high jump. So it's like I can still see quite a bit from this angle, but when you're just so used to looking at one angle of it, and then you have to look at it from a different angle, you can't always see the same things that you look for because you pick the angle that you're looking at it because you can see all the things you want to see. Or you find that just a really good vantage point for the things you enjoy to look for. But anyway, for me, this is not the best angle for me, but we'll see what I think. All right, so as you can already tell, it looks like she has a little kind of like walk or skip into her mark. Oh, it's a little prancy. Okay. Yeah. All right. Again, let's go maybe a little slower. Let's see. Speed. We'll go half. We'll see what half looks like. Maybe we can catch some things like, all right, so that must be her spot right there. I mean, she's got good drive. You can tell that she's got some good power going on. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay, so she's an 8-step. That makes sense. A lot of younger athletes do 8-step, and then about the time that they get into the upper levels of high school is whenever they switch from 8-step to 10-step. So like 8-step is just fine right now. I mean, she looks young, so eight's just fine. All right, so then we've got decent strides. So those are the strides that she picks up like the push, the momentum, that kind of power. And I mean, they're slow and they're gapy. A lot of places use that bound style. A lot of Europeans use a bound style coming in. So that's perfectly fine. I mean, she doesn't look European, but again, doesn't matter what it is, you can still use whatever method you want. But yeah, it looks like she has a bit of a European style kind of bound in. And then, I need to get when she starts her curve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so she does 3 steps and then a curve on 5. Um, that's actually a decent setup. 5 is kind of on the ideal side of things. Oh, oh, can I? No, it won't let me just scroll back. All right. She's actually starting to lean on that step, but she's definitely 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this would be, all right, let's try that again. Left side, that would be the even side. So that would be like 2 or 0. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Then pushing off of that, she actually picks up her lean. You can tell with like the knee drive change. So that is set up right. And then from there, I can't tell her lean very well, but it looks like she has at least a little bit of one. You can see that one shoulder is higher than the other shoulder. She definitely quickens her steps towards the end and lowers herself, although we can't really see it because this guy is standing in the way. It does look as if she starts to like preload going into that 10th step. So then from here, oh, there we go. Okay, so that was the thing that I kind of noticed too, is she's kind of relaxed going over the bar. There's not as much form and technique. If you prepare for that stuff, and then try to go over the bar, you can lose a lot of your ability. So it's like that. I always call it like that wind up car. You roll it back a couple times and then you let it go. Well, in this case, instead of winding it back until it's at its maximum, you've wound it back like once. So when it springs off, it just doesn't spring off with near as much speed. So in starting to do your rotations, and then you have fewer rotations to do whenever you're over the bar, yeah, you're going to do them a lot slower. So her shoulders are in at the bar, like she's kind of like just all of her upper body's already cowering at the bar. So then let's see. Yeah, her head is already leading in, her arms are leaning in. That far arm, you can see that really, really well, and how much that is pointing right at the bar. So it's like, where is she going to go? Well, her arms are leading her in this moment. She's got a decent line from the leg up into the hip, but as you can tell from the hip up to the shoulder, that line starts to go around. She needs to get that shoulder back where it needs to go, which is on top of her body. But even then, she has a decent bounce. She gets her back to the bar really well. We're starting to see some like sideways balancing, which is going to stop the rotation with her back to the bar. So that way she can then get one piece of her body over at each moment. But again, she's kind of locked in because she doesn't have as much rotation. So it's like now she has to like bend at the waist in order to try to get the hips to get the feet over, because she's just run out of time to get some rotations. So then it looks like a decent spot in terms of getting the feet over, but it was really, really slow getting the feet over. And it's like, it looks like she's landing on her upper back, right? It looks like it to the naked eye, but she's rounded her back so much that, yeah, she's actually landing on her lower back. All right. And then she does a decent rollover off to the side. I just love this pose right here. That's really cute. All right, so hopefully in kind of running through that, you see the things that I've been looking for, the things that I've noticed. I'd say a majority of the things that she could work on from this viewpoint. Again, if I watched a different viewpoint, maybe I'd have a different idea, but from this viewpoint, it looks like her head and shoulders tilting at the bar is what's throwing her off the most. And if she re-angled that part, then she'd have a whole lot more height to deal with, and her rotations would go a lot faster, so sure her feet won't just like drape over the bar really, really, really slow. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed my meet at EIU, and I hope you enjoyed my analysis of, um, again, I don't know her name, but I've spoken to her via Instagram, and she seems really nice. And hopefully we're still friends after I've said all the things I've said. Hopefully I haven't said anything to upset her. Well, I hope to have a meet this upcoming weekend and another video to share to talk about that meet. So until then, I hope you have a good week. Bye.